might even go in there. Good evening and welcome to Posse Presents. You just had a moment. I'm sitting here talking in a Speedo and I still had my glasses on, and that's not something I like to do. I don't need to see, I just need to talk, right? Anyway, here we are. A beautiful Saturday afternoon. Speedo ran 13 miles today. Yeah. And I'm just back from the Bikers Against Animal Cruelty Woofstock, which was at Toad's Place. And what a really nice time. You know, you saw them on the show a couple of weekends ago talking about Woofstock. And again, it was at Toad's Place. And I'd never been there. You know, there's so many legendary performers that have been there. The first thing that comes to my mind is the Rolling Stones. And, you know, the place is just so small, and I can't imagine. I've always been sorry I missed them at Toad's. It just must have been an amazing experience. Not that I haven't seen the Stones, and I've been close. I got hit with a Keith Richards guitar pick. That's how close I was. You know, they fling them in to the audience. Yeah. Didn't get it because everybody was like piranhas. It was a feeding frenzy, but, you know, it's still my little moment of glory. But anyway, I digress. It was a really nice time, and, you know, I love Bikers Against Animal Cruelty. All of them are just such good and wonderful people. You know, it's so nice to walk into a room and have people spot you and run over and give you a hug, and, you know, it just, you feel the love. They're genuine people. They believe in what they do. You know, they mean what they say, and they say what they mean, and they back it up with what they can do. And it's just such a nice environment. So thank you to Bikers Against Animal Cruelty for such a nice day. And my guest from last week, Robin, was on. And of course we made a toast to Desmond's Law. Hopefully that will, this should be the week. I think Monday is going to be a turning point. And, you know, we really have to keep our everything crossed that Desmond's Law will pass this time. It's been up a couple of times for through the circuit, through the maze, or whatever you want to call it, and it would just be so nice. There have been so many people that have worked so hard every time to try to get this through, and, you know, really do a lot for animals in the state of Connecticut that are victims of abuse. And, you know, like I said, Monday's the deadline. I don't think it's too late to send letters if you can. You know, you've got the weekend. You can send some emails. It'll certainly make a difference. And Connecticut Votes for Animals, you could go to their website, ctvotesforanimals.org, or their Facebook page. Same thing, CT Votes for Animals, and get the information, get the direction to where to look up your legislators. There's been lists published of the lawmakers who have voted against it. Send them a little email, you know, be polite, be respectful. You know, we're never going to win if anybody doesn't do it the right way. And, you know, you catch more flies with honey than vinegar, I guess is the old saying. So anyway, fingers crossed for Desmond's Law. It's been an interesting week. Zach and I took a little trip, and we went to Hidden Acres Farm and Therapeutic Riding Center, I Can Talk, which is a really wonderful little place. You know, they're doing so much for the community. You know, we got to see some of it in action. You know, some of the kids with different problems that were there, and, you know, riding these horses. And it's so nice, you know, having a relationship with an animal can teach a person so much. It can help build a person's confidence. It can help you learn how to interact with people better. You know, people don't understand quite the magic that there is for having a love of animals. You know, you get your compassion and your empathy, and, you know, you earn trust, and it's really definitely a confidence booster. But we've got one really great picture. Zach, look that up. This guy, he was eating up the attention. We got to meet a few of the horses, and Zach, what was his horse's name? Was it Cody? Yeah, it was Cody. I for some reason it was not like coming to me straight up. He was a big horse, and you know he was loving the attention. And we went over, and Gina showed us, you know, scratch his neck. He loves it. And then we turned around to say hello to the horse across the way. And this guy was literally banging stuff around in his stall because he didn't want us to stop paying attention to him. It was so funny. But then he put that face on, and he was like, what was that? I mean, he wasn't like, you know, he was enjoying the attention. And, you know, these horses all have different characters, and it was just too cool. Zach made another friend, too, who literally was like rubbing her face on his chest and, you know, had her head up against him. And it was kind of cool to watch Zach because he'd really never interacted so one-on-one with a horse before. Of course, I didn't get any pictures with any because it was too much fun with the smile on Zach's face. But it was a really great time, and we have to thank them for, you know, letting us walk through and check it out. And we are in the works to have them actually come on the show and tell us all about what they do. If you remember, there was the coloring event that Zach and I attended, and our portrait artist, Shauna Lee, sweet lady, and former guest on the show. She works with Hidden Acres, so you know, it's really cool how you can get your little chain of friendships and connections and you know, enrich your life by meeting new people and having little new adventures. All right, so I'll take the camera back. And I was just telling starting to tell Speedo before airtime, kind of a funny story. I had the most interesting interview that I ever had for a job this week. I was there for the better part of an hour and a half. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you, I still don't know if I know what the job is because we talked about dogs the whole time. So, yeah, it was pretty interesting, and, you know, new beginnings and new starts, and I'm really excited. And the best part is when your boss loves dogs as much as you do. Seriously, better part of an hour and a half. Don't know what, didn't have like the normal conversation that you do about work and stuff, but definitely covered a lot of bases with dogs and rescue, and, you know, kind of neat. Also this week, actually the same day, really sad news, Prince passed away. And, you know, I grew up on Prince, and, you know, there's been a lot of tributes, a lot of Facebook posts and everything else, but I found a couple this morning that you'll see I really had to share. Zach, let's get the first one up. How funny is that? Raspberry Beret, right? Little dog tribute with the purple tear and the symbol. Zach, let's get the other one up. How hilarious is that? Isn't that awesome? I couldn't resist, you know. It certainly ties into the show because it's about animals, right? But yeah, it was a real, there's been so many people that passed this year already, and it's incredible, but these were the first animal type tributes that I saw, and I like I said, I had to share because they're priceless, especially this one. Just kills me, the Purple Rain attire. But anyway, so much for that. I will take the camera back for a hot second. And we all should remember when I had Cherry Garcia on the show, gotta be like a month and a half ago maybe, something like that, maybe more. But Cherry Garcia, one of the former Michael Vick dogs, they're considered Victory dogs, V-I-C-K. Cherry had surgery this week, and it was to remove his hind leg, which kind of hurts to think of. That same leg had been operated on to repair the ACL, and he's been suffering with very painful arthritis. Cherry's people, the Fiaconis, they consulted numerous vets. They didn't take the decision to go ahead with the surgery lightly by any means, but we do have a picture of Cherry post-surgery. Let's get that up. There he is. He's looking good. Victory for Cherry is his Facebook page, VICKTORY, the number 4 and Cherry. They actually took a video of him coming out at the vet, coming out when they picked him up. And what a champ. I mean, a true champion, you know. That's the movie that, the documentary that was done, and it's called The Champions. And this guy really is, you know, he's come a very long way. There's another video of him just chilling. The adversity that this dog has had to put up with, and you know, he's fought through, and he's won. He really has won. You know, he hit the jackpot with the family he lives with. I know they would do anything for him, and hopefully, you know, going forward he'll be in less pain. You know, he's an older dog now. He's like 11 or just about, and you know, they did everything they could, and you know, this was to hopefully give him a pain-free existence. So, you know, you could see he does. He looks good. He looks happy. He's chilling in the sun. There was another picture in the series. He was sitting with Mom, and you know, just looking real good. So definitely got to give him a shout out and wish him a full and speedy recovery. I can't imagine, you know, having to make that decision. It's got to be hard, and you know, obviously, hopefully for the best. And gotta love Cherry. He's a great dog. I mean, no matter what the environment, you know, he's in. When he was here in the studio, he was priceless. And when he was at the screening, he was just so good-natured and so well-behaved. And you know, the crowd didn't bother him. The people didn't bother him. Just a great dog. It's such. His alone is such a good story, you know. And you put all the stories together in The Champions, and it's amazing. If and nobody has seen that yet, you know, if you haven't seen it yet, I would so recommend getting a chance to do that if you can. Oh yeah, Speedo's worried about, like, you know, the ugly stuff. He's a baby. I'll take the camera back, Zach. Yeah, Speedo's a bit of a baby. When I put up the real hard stuff to look at, he has to leave the room. But yeah, they're all. It's a really. It focuses on the good stuff. I mean, there's a couple of kind of pictures, but they didn't focus on that. You know, it's a positive story, even though that there was a lot not to be positive. But anyway, I want to talk about a few dogs tonight. One of them I have talked about before, but it's really getting to be kind of an urgent situation, not because his life is in jeopardy where he is, but he may not have very long left. Zach, let's get the picture of Duffy up. Look at that handsome boy. He's just such a beautiful, solid, gentle soul. And Duffy is 8 years old. He was thrown out of his house because of the landlord. You know, that tune gets sung so often, you know, even with my boy Diesel. You know, the landlord made a stink, and the family, you know, opted to give up the dog rather than keep him or try to, you know, find an alternate situation. And yeah, I know it's hard, but, you know, if your dog is really a family member, I don't know how you can just be like, okay, well, if it's me or you, then it's you. So anyway, Duffy's been at the shelter for a while, and now he has cancer. So, you know, he's a bully breed, he's a senior, and he's got cancer. He should not be in a shelter. I mean, all the love in the world in the shelter, and all the attention just doesn't take the place of what Duffy needs now. Duffy needs a home. He's a 96-pound lap dog. Yeah, he's a big boy. He's house trained. He knows commands. He's an absolute sweetheart. Unfortunately, the caveat here is that he needs to be an only pet. He's had some meet and greets. He was retested with other animals, and it's just now it's got to get thrown into the mix that he needs to be an only. And, he's not in like his end stages of life by any means. He doesn't look like he has cancer. He doesn't act like he has cancer. But he's got it, and sooner or later, it's going to take its toll. He needs an adopter or a permanent foster. He could live months or he could live years. There's no way to know. It's cancer, and it either takes its time or it doesn't. And the best that anybody can hope for is that Duffy would have a long time, but he needs to have that long time in a home, because when it gets down to the end, and he is sick and he's not feeling well, he needs someone to love and to cuddle and to take care of him and to comfort him and to tend to his needs, and not to just be like alone in a shelter, because that's how it's gonna go down if it doesn't happen for him soon. Like I said, he's not displaying any signs of being sick, and if someone is approved as a foster, the medical expenses to keep him comfortable will be covered. So that's something to consider. You do have to be the right spot for him. They're not going to let him just, for the sake of sticking him in somebody's house and getting him out of there. It's not like they're trying to get rid of him. They're trying to give him the best end of his life that could possibly be had. And so, again, Duffy, 8 years old, bully breed, senior with cancer in a shelter, doesn't belong there. So if you can open up your heart and your home, if you're an only pet, if he's going to be the only pet in your world, then please, by all means, call the Town of Hempstead Animal Shelter, and their number is 516-785-5220. Once again, that's 516-785-5220. And I'll take we'll go to the next picture. How's that? There we go. No sense in popping my face in between the dogs. They're more fun to look at. Even for me from sitting here, Anyway, this is Tara. And Tara has been at the shelter for 4 years. Unfortunately, that's just far too long for a dog to be in a shelter. She's housebroken, she's sweet, and of course she has a story. She arrived at the shelter with 3 puppies. The owner basically just walked away, like no problem, peace, that's it, see you later, bye. One of the puppies was injured. He really didn't give anybody at the shelter any information about anything that, might have been going on or what happened. As is usually the case, the puppies all got adopted, and, Tara got left behind. It's a really sad thing that a lot of these dogs, they're throwaway moms. The puppies all get adopted, and mom is left, holding the bag, basically. I'll never understand that. It's not her fault that she was used as a breeding machine. Any of these throwaway moms, everybody wants a puppy, and, mom gets cast aside, and it's hard to place an older dog, and that just boggles my mind. But anyway, about a year ago, Tara got very sick, and she almost died. So the shelter fought very hard and put everything they had into saving her, because she was such a sweet girl. She'd waited so long for her chance to have a home. They didn't want her to pass without having that chance. Her medical issues have been resolved. She's definitely in much better health. There's really no maintenance, I guess, required for what she went through. And, she's still just such a really cool dog, and she's waiting for a home. Unfortunately, in the last 4 years, she too has entered into her senior time of life, and she really deserves a home. You know, she's been waiting for so long. She's a little timid around strangers. She needs to build up some confidence in new situations, and I'm sure that being in the shelter has kind of sheltered her from, you know, being exposed and having a little bit more socialization. She seems to like women more than men, and she gets along with dogs who aren't pushy, but again, would probably be better as an only. You know, people have to understand that just because a dog tolerates other dogs in most situations, it doesn't necessarily mean that living with them is going to work out in the long term. And that's something that people really have to respect in order not to set the dog up to fail. So, you know, to say that she'd need to be an only, probably especially for having been in the shelter for so long, would be her best option. And, you know, it doesn't make any of these dogs bad dogs because they need to be onlys. You know, you never know what they've been through. You never know, you know, what their experiences are. So anyway, if you're interested in Tara, she is also at the Town of Hempstead Animal Shelter, and the number there is 516-785-5220. Once again, 516-785-5220. And last but not least, we're going to put up Ernie's picture. Look at that blockhead. Isn't he handsome? I'm actually wrestling with myself to go meet him myself. It'd be a road trip, a little bit of one, with the girls who, you know, are really wondering why I keep doing this to them. I don't, you know, of course they don't know why. But anyway, Ernie is a big, handsome love. He's about 2 years old. He's up to date on his vaccinations. He's neutered. He's microchipped. He gets along with other dogs. You know, there's pictures of him at the shelter having playtime. Yeah, I know. Speedo's like, I want him. But he is a big boy. So, you know, he needs to be with older children. You know, there has to be a meet and greet with any dogs that are existing in the home. You know, Ernie's been waiting for someone to take him home. And this dog, believe me, he sounds like he's the total package, you know, for the fact that he gets along with other dogs, and, you know, he's just such a big, lovable mush, and, like, that blockhead just kills me, and those soulful eyes. Anyway, he's at Stratford Animal Control, and you can go to their website at stratfordanimalrescue.org. Once again, that's stratfordanimalrescue.org, or give them a call at 203-385-4068. Once again, that's 203-385-4068. And I will take the camera back. Bye-bye, Ernie. I love looking at his face. Anyway, before we finish up, tomorrow, for Sweet Pea Friends of Rutland Animals, they have their annual dog walk event. Again, that's tomorrow. The registration is 10:30 to 11:30. There's a 3-mile walk that starts at 11:15, and there is a 1-mile walk that starts at noon. There's going to be a barbecue, there's going to be raffles, and, you know, it's going to be a really good time. Unfortunately, I can't make it, although I would love to. You know, anybody who has the day free, I think it sounds like a great time. It's going to be held at 200 Coldbrook Road in Hubbardston, Mass. And you can go to www.sweetpea4a.org, www.sweetpea4a.org, and the number to call would be 508-757-7959 if you want more information. Once again, 508-757-7959. Always a good time when, you know, you get together with the people that are really cool. And, you know, today for me it was bikers. Tomorrow for you, it could be Sweet Pea, and you know that usually means Juno and Hannah and Bert's Brigade, Bert with a U. So, you know, if you've ever wanted to rub elbows with the cool crowd, you can go and do that tomorrow. Anyway, before I go, I just want to issue a little bit of a heads up. This week I saw a good-sized coyote in my backyard when I was out with Gidget very early in the morning. Now, my yard, behind my yard is woods, so it wasn't really in my yard, it was in the woods. But I was, you know, down back, 7 o'clock in the morning. It's still kind of like that early morning time where these critters are still looking for food and trying to, you know, take care of whatever business. I turned tail and walked right back up the driveway before, you know, anything got out of control. But the thing is, people don't leave your pets outside unattended. Coyotes, foxes, I've seen, you know, bobcats, there have been bears. You know, cats are an appetizer for these animals. A small dog could get taken away before you even know what happens. A larger dog, you know, if the coyotes are working in numbers, they're not going to stand a chance. So even if your dog is in your own yard, a fence isn't much of a deterrent because these guys are pretty determined. If your dog is on an electric fence, you know, with the collar, all that's going to do is keep him in the yard. It's not going to keep predators out of the yard. Just not a good situation. If for the smaller dogs, hawks are definitely a risk because anything up to about 15 pounds, a hawk can swoop down and take off with, and, you know, your pet is gone. Same thing for a cat. Swoop down, take it, and go. And, you know, they have a meal, and you'll never see them again. And in a lot of cases, you won't know whatever happened. Also, on the same note, people are going into yards and stealing animals. So just the whole thing is, use your head, don't leave your animals outside alone. There's too many dangers out there. I am going to say peace, love, and dogs. Until next week, thank you so much for watching.